If 2027 all-new Hyundai Elantra's exterior design was not enough to blow your mind, wait until you see the price tag that Hyundai has dropped for domestic Korea market yesterday. Welcome to the channel. I am DK Kim, your host for Cars in Korea. As you saw from the thumbnail, the internet has gone crazy about the price list that Hyundai has revealed for Korea domestic market. Therefore, the reference I am making and what I am telling you here is strictly for Korea domestic market only. There are different strategies, especially with the price around the globe, so make sure to double check with your local dealership. Pretty much anything and everything that I tell you in this video. However, this should give you a good idea of what the all-new Elantra is going to be like. So I came up with the whole PDF file here, which I will give you on the screen right now so you can see what I am seeing and what I am referring to. First things first, there are two powertrain choices you can get with the all-new Elantra. First being the gasoline 2.0 and second being the 1.6 hybrid, as you can see. And there are three different trims here in Korea sold as Modern, Premium, and Inspiration. The price tag you see is in US dollars. It is a direct conversion from Korean pricing. It excludes all the government tax and everything else. It's not OTD, it's not out the door price. So do keep that in mind. And as you can see, the eco-friendly car tax benefit is not yet finalized on the hybrid trim. Deduct that $700 from the final pricing. How much higher than CN7? CN7 is the last generation. There is no longer so-called entry trim for Elantra, so you would think that there has been a huge price increase. However, if you look at the modern trim, the one in the middle, the increase is just shy 0.4%. And moving on to the highest trim, which is Inspiration, it has about 16% increase. These are three different reactions from Korean channels. So channel A kind of talked about how the price increase is going to be actually feel much higher in person when you actually get the car, because minor yet important options such as heated seats together with the parking assist and 18-inch wheels, they are now all for an extra, which was tied together in the previous CN7. So the channel B also talked about the similar things. It is going to be much more expensive when you actually get the similar options and things you want in the car compared to the CN7. But mostly it has to do with the brand new infotainment system that Elantra got for the first time, which is Plios Connect, the 16:9 ratio display you see in the middle of the car, together with the brand new Cleo AI and also App Store exclusively for Hyundai cars. And Channel C also pointed out some hidden costs, which might not be applicable to your market, so I'm gonna fly through, but here in Korea, Elantra was exempt from a tax because the car was 1.6 turbo, small size engine. However, now the 2.0 being the smallest engine you can get for the gasoline, it is now subject to an extra tax. So that was well pointed out by that channel. But you can see optional premium sound system, front and rear parking collision avoidance. It now is for an extra. So it's no longer included in a trim. Therefore, it is going to make the car more expensive overall. And this price increase and issue you get with the all-new Elantra, people started comparing what other cars I can get with the same amount of money. The difference between the loaded Elantra hybrid to that of the current Sonata is not that much. It is slightly over 1,000 US dollars. So people have torn decisions between choosing the Sonata with, I guess you could call it, the outdated infotainment system now that has the CCNC connected car navigation cockpit with the 12.3-inch monitors on the left and right. You guys know what I'm talking about. So the question is, are you going to get the brand new car with the latest text, yet it's an Elantra, versus are you going to pay slightly more and get the current Sonata? So you really have to be looking at the precise exact same price when you want to compare a car to another. However, we can all resonate. We've all been there, and it's even more extreme this case because the price has been bumped up a lot with the Elantra. There's no doubt about that. Another disclaimer, I am just reading out the facts and reactions from the internet. I'm not weighing any of my personal opinion on this episode yet, at least. All right, so that's quite interesting. What's your take, by the way? Personally, if you ask me, I always go with a fully loaded option car. I would rather have fully loaded entry version of a sedan than making a compromise and go with the next level sedan and go with the base or mid trim. No, I am a man of my words, I guess. I actually went with the Veloster and fully loaded, completely loaded. For your information, the numbers I'm showing you here is straight from Hyundai Official after they have gotten 10,000 reservations on the first day of the release. 52% chose the Inspiration trim and 27.5% chose hybrid, almost the double from the 14.8% previously. The hybrid market is growing, especially for Hyundai Motor Group. They are doing great in North America in terms of the hybrid sales. So that number is not surprising. And honestly, me driving all different types of cars, I personally love hybrid because I personally think it really is a car that sits right between the internal combustion engine and electric vehicles and has the best of the both worlds. Well, number one, you gas out, right? So there is no frustration with charging your car, yet you also have some traits from EV such as stay mode or V2L, draining the electricity from the car just like you would with an EV. So having gone through the price list and reactions around it from the internet and social media, we can now see that Hyundai has effectively declared Elantra moving up from an entry sedan to a small size premium sedan. What are your thoughts about that? Let me know in the comment below. I personally still think that Elantra delivers great value for the money. Just think about what we're getting for what we pay. However, it's a completely different story when you are actually getting yourself that car and you're paying it from your own pocket. It's always cheaper, the better, no doubt about that. So this is the reaction from social media and internet that I have gathered. All the comments I've collected is straight from my past 6 videos I made on this Elantra. So let's go watch what you guys have said about the Elantra. So 40% were positive. 45% were negative, which I find it to be very surprising because I thought people were all bashing about the design. So mixed and split, 15%. This is the interesting part. People repeatedly said the similar things. The most controversial, center table screen. A lot of people said that every single car in the market is now looking like a Tesla. I've said this in a few comments already as a reply. There are good reasons why all smartphones look like the bar that we have here today. There is this term I like called convergence theory, and also form follows function. Hyundai also admitted that Tesla found the best ultimate form when it comes to the car infotainment system in the era of SDV, software-defined vehicle. For example, when you only have physical keys inside your dash, that button can only do one thing for the rest of its life. When it is assigned as an AC, it is going to be an AC for its entire lifespan. It is always going to take up that much space, right? However, when you turn that into a tablet, things like this, right? What we are seeing right now, we can use it as a PDF reader. It can also be an infotainment system. You can turn on the Netflix, you can watch YouTube here. Yeah, we all know that, right? So the manufacturers, including Hyundai, probably did not have much choice but to go with a display in the middle and the center. However, Hyundai left a lot of physical buttons right underneath the display if you didn't know. So most frequently used physical buttons and things that we need the most, such as the volume knobs and also the temperatures and fan levels, and of course the emergency hazard light. It's all physical right underneath the display. And the slim display right above the steering wheel. The car still does offer HUD heads-up display, so that slim display does not replace HUD, just so you know. And also, that is for an extra. So you actually have to pay to get that slim display. So yeah, just don't get it if you don't like it. The C-pillar, the tan interior. Hyundai has been doing a fabulous job with the bright interior nowadays, and it is the bright tan beige interior that we've never got on Elantra. So you want to check that out. It looks so much better in person. And matte paint. There were quite a lot of compliments on the matte paint, especially the blue one that I showed on the very first video. Same thing, it looks so much better in person. And even more so with this Elantra, because the car itself has a lot of straight lines. It is almost as if you have different color on different surface, although it is located one right next to another. For instance, rear fender. The right reflecting off of the rear fender from the top versus the profile side, it's just completely different. Hyundai design leads the industry, got the most likes, 262, and excited for the N. And the designer-in-chief also said and mentioned that we will be getting the N, making the wide fender even wider and making the car even more sportier. This is the interesting number that you want to pay some close attention to. That is the number of the contract that was made on the first day, 11,094 cars. 52% chose the top inspiration trim and 27.5% chose hybrid, which is up from 14.8% on the outgoing car. And 24% chose the base trim, up from just 4% previously. So we can see the customer choices are now being polarized. So people are going with either very base trim or fully loaded inspiration trim. 52% and 24%. So together they add up about 80% altogether, which is really interesting. And this one here is talking about the color. And oh my God, I did not even talk about the color. And let me tell you about the interior and exterior colors of 2027 all-new Elantra. So over here is the Atlas White. The white color that we know that we've been getting all this time. And honestly speaking, it looked great in person. I have a video on this car and also will be including the real world photo right now, so see it for yourself. But this Atlas White does not let us down. And next up is the Quantum Silver Pearl. And one that I have not seen in person yet, but Hyundai lately is on fire with their silver color, so I think it is going to look awesome. Next up is Ecotronic Gray Pearl. This color we've seen before, so it is a bit toned down gray, if you will. It's darker than the silver ones that we know of. And next up is Volcanic Red Pearl. Another brand new color that we have not seen before. I think this color is replacing the Ultimate Red Metallic, which I personally think looked amazing with Sonata N-Line. I am really curious as to what this color would look like in person, because that Ultimate Red Metallic looks amazing in person. Next up, another brand new color, Serene Copper Pearl. Wow. This one kind of reminds me of Goyo Copper that we got for the first time with Nexo. This one is going to look amazing in person too. It kind of does remind me slightly, somewhat of Gravity Gold Matte that we got for the first time with Ioniq 5. I know it is different, but it does remind me just slightly looking at the CGI graphic for now. And next up, Graphene Green Pearl. A lot of brand new colors, aren't there? Finally, something I know, Abyss Black Pearl. The black color that we've been getting for years now, so there's not so much surprise about this one. Next up, Raptor Gray Matte. Wow. I mean, they've done a good job with the naming, I guess. It is kind of straightforward. It's got the character name in the front, it's got the color, and it's got the color type. That is actually the name structure that Hyundai has. Last but not least, this is the color I had for the very first Elantra video, and people loved it. And trust me, it looks so much better in person. And this is the Kodiak Blue Matte. Alright, so that is it for the exterior. Next up is the interior color. So the first one here is the Chalk Beige Monotone. And this is the color I had with the red color exterior Elantra I had. I will include in the screen right now. I really loved this beige when I saw it in person. It really flows well with the ambient light that they have over here. And next up is the Burgundy / Ivory Rose. By the way, if you didn't know, this center arm console opens up together with the traditional armrest we see on the back. And next up is the Black and Cognac interior. You might not get all these colors where you are, so do keep that in mind. I'm sorry, I've got nothing to do with it, just different marketing strategies for different markets and dealers. And last but not least, black monotone. So with all that, fingers crossed, you'll get some great pricing in your market. And I'll see you in the next video. Those of you guys who watched this far, I'm pretty sure you guys are my regular subscribers and viewers. How was today's video? Let me know in the comment below, because obviously this was my very first attempt with this kind of video, I guess, in a studio setup. I've been meaning to do this, but it's very different, and believe it or not, it's actually more difficult. Oh God, there's always a first to everything, but this was just completely new. By the way, I recently opened up the membership video and I already am getting some members. I can't believe it.